Hi everyone, delonewolf here, and welcome to EVE Talk, your weekly look at the market in EVE Online. I also want to grab this opportunity to remind everyone that the Alliance tournament is on this weekend, and the next weekend we'll finally get to see the new studio for EVE TV, which I think is pretty interesting. I definitely look forward to that, and so I would urge everyone to not forget to tune in to twitch.tv/ccp for the Alliance tournament. But we are here for the market, of course, the other PvP side of EVE Online, and let's jump right in here with plexes, and I'll write down 40 seconds for that. And we can see that plexes have gone down a little bit, so 758 for the buyers, 779 for the sellers, below 780. That's a decent movement down. Let's go for the 3-month chart right here and look at this data point right here, even below 770. That's quite surprising. This is a pretty clear break for the 5-day moving average compared to the 20-day moving average. I think this has potential. Why? Because if you look at the rest of the sidebar, there's a lot of goods going down at the moment. I think this could be the summer effect. A little bit delayed, of course. We are right at the end of the summer, but if this trend can keep up next week, we could be in front of a correction. At least if I look at the 1-month chart right here, this is interesting. To me, at least, this is interesting. It's definitely something I'm gonna keep an eye on. It is possible that Plex is still in such big demand that people will react right away on this, and that this will correct itself by next week, but I still give it a little bit of a chance because of the summer effect that we might finally see a more serious correction in Plex. We'll have to wait and see, but this is a nice little tail end of the chart right here, in my personal opinion. Let's move on to the minerals, because I can't really say a lot about Plex except that it's finally looking like it might be going down. So let's start off here with titanium, and this is the 1-month chart. I'll write down 215 for that, and this is pretty much balanced. If I go for a 3-month chart here for a second, we see that titanium did know a serious correction here in July, but now since the beginning of August, pretty much a balanced situation where titanium has been holding on just above 530. We can also see from the bar below that the movement is very small at the moment for titanium. So buyers 530, sellers 535, extremely small margin. If I look at some of the numbers in quantity here for the sellers, 105 million, 800 million, and then over here 600 million for the buyers, 200 million, 127 million. This is pretty much in line with one another, and so for the moment, I'd say we can expect a further stable situation, at least here in the titanium market. And if last week is an indication, the rest might be the same. So let's have a quick look here at the pyrite chart for the 1-month chart. It spiked up a little bit to 1120, but it's already coming back down. Going on a 1-month period, I would say around maybe 1050, 1060. Current prices here 1048, 1045, so it's already balanced right back down. This is again a decently stable situation. 20 million, 25 million, 120 million here, 56, 58, 80. Maybe a little bit more demand than supply at the moment, but what I think is happening here is that once there is a small opportunity to unload some extra pyrite at a better price, people come right in to take advantage of such opportunities. And so it's looking to me like pyrite, despite the small spike here, is actually also in stable waters where supply demand is actually decently well balanced. People have the stocks necessary to respond to any big price spikes. That's exactly what happened here in pyrite in the last week. Let's have a look at Mixalon then. I thought that one was actually going up against all the other trends, and it's still doing that. Look at that, starting the month at 46 ISK, ending up at the moment at 58. Man, that would have been a decent investment, honestly. So buyers 57.81, sellers 58.80. I'm seeing a lot of very recent orders right here in the top part of the sell orders. Competition, look at that, 58, 67, 66, 65, 64. Amounts 57 million, 18 million, 30 million right here. There's a huge buy order here at 57.60 for 300 million units of Mexalon. That's I would say twice the entire front page here for the sellers. So there is more demand at the moment for Mexalon for some reason, and this is clearly pushing the price up here. And yeah, are there very recent? Yeah, all of this is actually very recent, all of these buy orders as well. So it's compared to titanium and pyrite, is a very active market, very competitive market, and at the moment it looks like there is just a little bit more demand than supply, and this is causing this yeah, pretty nice charts for people that are currently mining for Mexalon, I would say, because that's a pretty significant increase in price. 46 ISK up to 58 right here. That's nice. 12 ISK, yeah, quarter of the price, something like that. Not bad. Let's have a look at Isogen here, also taking off. Well, this is unexpected. I would have expected these to continue in on the same trend as titanium and pyrite. So I'm not sure what the reason for this could be, but 127.03 for the buyers, 127.75 for the sellers. On the number side, well, here is 24 million coming in all of a sudden. That's actually quite a decent amount if I look at the buy order quantities. So this could stop. Actually, this could just be a little bit of a delay of what we saw here in pyrite. So a nice spike for pyrite, but already a correction. And if you look at the current price, it's already back down to where it started the month at. Here for Isogen, also taking off in like 2 weeks up to 128. But I'm seeing a big sell order coming in here. I'm seeing decent competition here. 89, very recent, very recent, very recent, very recent. All of this is pretty recent, and I'm not seeing the same numbers on the buy order side, so this could be short-lived as well. I think this could just be a little bit of a spike that's actually going to correct in the upcoming week. That's my expectation. I could be wrong on this, but that's how I read the Isogen market right here. Let's move on to Noxium, also taking off. Look at that, pretty substantially. 620 right here, a pretty stable situation, and now 680 already. That's almost 10% increase in just a few weeks time. Let's have a quick look here. 675 for the buyers, 685 for the sellers. 10 ISK margin, very small. Where am I seeing most of the competition? Well, here 15 million, pretty recent, in competition with a lot of the other buy orders. I'm still seeing a big demand here. 3 to 4 million coming in here, extremely recent. At a lower price than the other ones. That would actually indicate that it might correct. It's very difficult to say what Noxium is going to do, but if I look at this big number here, 15 million units on a buy order, and the amount of competition around this buy order, I would say that Noxium might still have a little bit of a higher price in it. I don't think it'll break 700 or something like that if you look at people coming in with decent numbers already, but I would say that more than Noxium, more than Isogen, excuse me, Noxium still has some upward potential because of these big orders that are right here, that are still substantial in number compared to the sell orders. So yeah, looking like Noxium still has some momentum in it. Let's move on to nullsec minerals. Let's start here with megasite, and that's still going down. That's actually surprising to me. I would have thought once breaking the 1000 barrier that it would actually start to slow down, but if you look at this chart, straight down in 1 month from around 1250, breaking 950 now. Let's have a look at 903 for the buyers, 930 for the sellers, so that is actually very, very low. I think for megasite, if you want some more perspective, let's go for a 6-month chart, holding steady for 3 months at 1600, and now the price is below 950. Yeah, that's a serious pullback for these nullsec megasite minerals. Let's have a look at Zydrine, also the 6-month chart. Look at that, exactly the same, also still going down. We're looking at 425 for the buyers, 426 for the sellers, still 5 million units here and 3 million units here coming off. People are dumping these minerals, it would seem to me. Look at that, that's just extremely low. And on a 1 month movement, I would say 560 down to 440, another 120 loss. That's probably around 1/5 of the price in a single month, and it's been going on like that for at least 3 months. So yeah, that's not looking too good. Let's see if Morphyte is following suit. So Morphyte is not following suit. On the 1 month chart, it's pretty much stable around the 6,000, 6,100 price mark. 6,018 for the sellers. God damn it, I'm actually a bit hungry, but okay. 5,900 for the buyers. And if I look at the numbers here, there's decent numbers, 100,000, 500,000, 500,000 coming in. The entire front page is less than a day old. That's actually pretty substantial as well, and probably the reason why the price is going down a little bit. But I would say if this is a structural thing, then Morphyte should have shown a similar pattern to, oh, actually it did, you know, look at that, starting at 7,200, dropping down to 5,800, and now holding on at around the 6,000 price mark. So I'm really a little surprised that Megasite and Zydrine are still going down at the same pace as what they've been doing for like 3 months straight. I'm personally thinking that this is okay to start investing in. Current price for Megasite 930 ISK for Megasite. I think these are very low prices historically speaking, so I think there is an investment opportunity here. If I'm looking at the rest of the bar below, you can see that a lot of products have actually been pulling back, and I do think this is just a general summer effect. So my expectation is that these could be good investments if you assume that CCP is going to come out with a bigger release, a release that's really going to entice people to come back to the game in the winter, check all of the new stuff out, and then yeah, the economy might just pick back up and all prices could be going substantially higher. I'm reading a little bit of deflation at the moment in the economy, and so I think when prices are really going down and are extremely low, such as these Nostic minerals, investments could be a good idea. Again, I'm going to put a disclaimer on this. This is just my opinion and I could be completely wrong, but just to show you guys that I really believe in this, I invested 1.5 billion in Megasite and Zydrine last week already, after I did my EVE talk out in Jeddah. So I've put my money where my mouth is, and I still want to yeah, keep you guys informed of all of that as well, but take it with a grain of salt. This is just my opinion, and it might just be that these turn out to be bad investments as well. Anyways, that's it for the mineral market. Let's have a quick look at the Tech 1 market then. And what should I write down for that? 1240 for the Tech 1 chips. Let's have a quick look here what the Drake has been doing. This is a 6-month chart. As you can see, if I go for the 1 month chart, it's actually pretty stable at around 45 million. Sure, there's a little bit of ups and downs, but none of this is really drastic as long as it stays in the 44 to 46 million ISK band on a 45 million battle cruiser. This is pretty much a stable situation. Supply demand here 18 on the buyers, 11 and 10 on the sellers. Pretty much a balanced situation. And so just like the high-sec minerals, except 2 of them have surprisingly jumped up in the last week, I'm expecting calm waters in these markets, to be honest. Let's have a look at the Maelstrom then, 164 to 171, and I mean, it's down a little bit for the month. The 20-day moving average is clearly down from 186 to 172, but overall I think this is nothing to be too worried about. This is not like a complete crash compared to what we've seen with Megasite and stuff like that. We're still holding on at like around the 170, 175 price mark, and 6 months ago we were starting at 185. That's not a loss of 50% of value or anything close to that. So the Tech 1 market, honestly, I feel it's a little bit more stable here. The Omen had really known a little bit of a crash, but as you can see, it's already correcting back here as well. It went down as low as 8.5. Now current sell orders almost 9 million again, so the counter movement against a big price spike here caused a lot of supply to come to the market. Prices crashed down a little bit as low as 8 million, but now they're back up to 9 million, and I'm pretty sure that pretty soon they'll come right back to the 9.5 9.5 to 10.5, which is a normal price for the Omen. So there are some market responses whenever a price spike does happen. People try to take opportunities, and sometimes this has a counter response that's a little bit more severe. But overall, on the 6 months here, from 10.5 to 9.5 million is nothing drastic. The Rock, well, that one is down quite a little bit more, from like 205 million. But here 192, it's still nothing too dramatic, although the general trend in 3 months for the Rock has been down substantially. You can see here again a little spike at the end of July, early August, followed probably by an increase in supply for the Rock, pushing the price back down to 184, but here the counter response is already there. These markets do dry up, and we're already looking at 192 to 193 for a Rock, which puts it right around here. So it's again not a drastic pull back in 3 months for the Rock. Let's have a look here at the Talos. That one again showing on 3 months that it's been down a little bit, but from 74 to 68 million, 69 million. Again, that's not that big. If I go for the 6 month chart, it's actually even better. Look at that, from 72 to 68. I mean, right now we're on a small downward spike, but all of this actually feels well balanced, well supplied market. Over here there is enough demand, the supply can react to the price as well. All of this looks to me like a healthy and stable Tech 1 market right here. So time to move on to Tech 2 stuff. Let's have a look there, 1630, and the Tech 2 market is probably going to be a little bit less stable. This 6 month chart, I still do believe that these very high Comanche prices are due to the Alliance tournament. So I am waiting for a pullback in all of these, but you can still see significant movement within these charts, even here at these higher regions. So 240 right here, spike to 270, so that's more than 10% movement. Back down below 240, again spike up with data point size 250, again breaking down to like 235, something like that. And right now Absolution's 280 million for the sellers. So this is a lot of trade money that is being made and lost when people try to buy and sell these command chips at the moment. And despite the fact that they are very high, I would not invest at these prices. I would not risk this, because you never know when all of a sudden this stops and they come back down towards the 200 million mark for the Absolution, for instance. Yeah, it still shows that there is trade potential right here for people that are willing to risk it. The Astartes here, Astarte, 240 here, the start, a spike up to 290, back down and a spike up again here, a little bit stable at the tail end right here, holding on at 290 million, which is pretty high, but I think we will see a correction at this once, I'd say, the summer effect starts to kick in here as well, maybe. Claymore, that's again, that data point is really annoying, but it has been a little bit too stable for me lately, so I would not invest in that. The Damnation, that's a little bit better if you look at this 6 month chart. 220, look at that, spike up to 280, correcting back down to 240, again back up to 280. At the moment we're probably 275, very high prices. If you still have some or can produce some, it's probably a good idea to try and still sell them, because I am expecting this to start to pull back any moment now. Here the EOS, look at all of these beautiful opportunities. Starting below 280, jump up to 330, that's 50 million. That's way more than 10%. Back down to 290, back up to 350. Again, these spikes are great trading opportunities. And the Guardian is where I think a lot of money can be made at the moment, even for people with a more limited wallet, because look at this, starting at 130, big spike up to 170, and probably just a few weeks after that again back down to 125, spike back up here again, and now we're again in the buy order territory. Once another alliance comes in to try and make another Guardian fleet for their reps, this you could see another jump like this again. We've seen two major ones in yeah, pretty much 2 months time. So yeah, I think this does show how the Tech 2 market is pretty good for active traders. The Nighthawk here, again, it's another command chip, a little bit too high and too stable for my taste. You can still see some spikes, and look at the Sleipnir. Oh my god, as high as 337 million for the buyers, and 6 months ago you were looking at 220, 230 for a slip near. That would have been an awesome investment. That's a lesson I think I've learned for this year. The Alliance tournament has a major impact, I think, on the market, on some of the Tech 2 ships. And so that's something to keep in mind for next year. I think next up the Vulture, again a little bit too high, a little bit too stable, but I am expecting this pullback to happen once, maybe after the Alliance tournament, a couple of weeks in there. Probably the command ship market is going to cool down, and then we'll be back to more buying and investment opportunities for the medium term. But yeah, the Guardian, honestly, I love this chart. That's looking really awesome for people that want to make some money trading at the moment. So let's move on to the Tech 3 market, and if you've taken a look at the sidebar, at the bar below, you already know that that's not looking too good. We'll write down 2040 for that. So the correction is back in. The spike was across all of them, but the correction is definitely here. Look at this right here. We'll go for the 1 month chart here. Going from 160 to 140, that's 20 million down, more than 10%. That's a significant movement. And 23, 11, 7 here again, 2. All of this is extremely recent, a lot of competition on the sell order side. There is not as much demand, so the oversupply is back and is pushing the prices back down. You're already looking again at 138 for a Legion. It's not the 120, 125 we saw when the spike back up was happening, but these are again very low prices for Tech 3 ships. The Loki here, 135 to 138, again here 13 and 6 of them still being brought in at these prices. All of these orders are extremely recent. There's this huge competition on the supply side. There is oversupply in these markets, and this is why you're seeing such low prices. Let's have a look at the Proteus next. 131.6 to 137, but look at these numbers: 35, 17, 11, and the lowest price, probably the most recent order, 14 Protei still being brought at the market at 137. So this price is probably going to continue to go down. And then the Tengu, that's even more dramatic, 156 at the start, 138 breaking below 138 even now, and still 16, 13, 13, 12 Tengu still being brought to the market. All of these very recent, competing with one another. The oversupply of the Tech 3 market is just pushing the price back down. After that, a small spike that for like a week managed to maintain itself. Looked like it might be structural. People might want to really start investing in Tech 3 ships, but it was really short-lived. Someone made a big move there, bought a lot of them, pushed the price back up, but the oversupply situation has not been resolved in the Tech 3 market. And then for the final product, I'm going to have a look at the fuels. I'll write down 23 minutes for that. The reason is that when I was doing the bottom bar, it looked like we were in a general deflation situation. Everything was going down, even Plex going down a few percentage points, which I thought was pretty significant. But all of a sudden, Caldari fuel blocks did the exact opposite, and they went up pretty significantly, 17.88% in 1 week. That's a huge move up, and I think that warrants a look at the fuel blocks in general. So let's have a quick look here. We'll go for the 1 month chart. Amar fuel blocks, nothing too drastic to report. Look at that, starting 5-day moving at 20.2k, ending it up at pretty much 19.2k, so that's even a little bit lower, breaking 19,000 ISK for the Amar fuel blocks. Let's have a look here at the Caldari fuel block. Oh, that's actually interesting. It went down significantly for the entire month, from 21k down to 18k, and so now there is a counter reaction. Back up to 21.150. It's a significant move up here all of a sudden, but if you look at the entire month, we're still not looking at an actual increase in price. And so we could still look at deflation. If you look, for instance, for the Galente fuel blocks, that's obviously down for the entire month, starting at 19.5 thousand ISK, and now holding on stable at 16.5, so it's even lower than that. 16.138 are already the prices here. Pretty big numbers here as well. Look at that, 300,000, 250,000. You're not seeing that on the demand side. The Caldari fuel block, a lot more in balance with one another. So maybe, yeah, the 21,000 price point is a normal price point for Caldari fuel blocks. Let's have a look at Minmatar chart, also down for the entire month. So it's really the Caldari fuel block did a counter move to its serious deflation for the entire month, and that's why it's jumping out for the bottom bar, but it's actually probably not an accurate picture. I'm still seeing, especially if I look at the other fuels, a little bit of deflation in the entire economy for EVE Online. And honestly, when deflation happens, what you don't want to have is just a lot of liquid ISK in your wallet. So I do think it's gonna be time for me to unload even a little bit more for my wallet into investments, into yeah, probably some more of those charts that are showing really a downtrend in the last 2-3 months or something like that. I think those could be good investments. And so keep in mind, the Caldari fuel block situation is more of a counter response to a downward trend for its price, and not an indication that there's actually a huge increase in price for Caldari fuel blocks. Maybe I'll have a look at the 3-month chart here. Well, actually, look at that big spike here. 18k was the consensus price, and now we're moving back up to 21k. Caldari fuel blocks are doing something weird. It is the most popular race, so probably the most used POS as well. Probably the easiest to manipulate, so we might have been like another interdiction that I've not read anything about or something like that. It is possible to manipulate the Caldari fuel block price, but again, if I look at this 3-month chart, starting at 18k, and right here, again, it went back down below 18k, it's responding, but it's not looking like a general increase in price picture. I think the opposite is true at the moment in the EVE economy. Anyways, that's going to be it for this EVE talk then, guys. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you all next time.